Hi, welcome to this lesson in Algebra Word Problems, solving a word problem, question 5. Two aeroplanes take off at the same time from different airports. They're traveling towards each other's airports, and the airports are 1,200 kilometers apart from each other. If plane A is flying at 350 kilometers per hour to airport B, and plane B is flying at 250 kilometers per hour to airport A, how long will it take for both planes to pass each other? Alright, so since we are dealing with a question with objects traveling certain distances at certain speeds, it's best to visualize the scenario. So let us do so. So let us draw the airports. We will call this airport A, where plane A takes off and flies towards airport B. And plane B will take off from airport B and fly towards airport A. So we know airport A travels at a speed of 350 kilometers per hour, and plane B travels at a speed of 250 kilometers per hour. And we know that the total distance between the airports is 1,200 kilometers. Let us compute the distances traveled after each hour for each plane. So I'll create a little table here, T, which is measured in hours, the distance that plane A travels towards airport B, and the distance that plane B travels towards airport A. So let's compute it after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and so on. After the first hour, plane A would have traveled 350 kilometers. That is what 350 kilometers per hour means. Every per 1 hour, you have traveled 350 kilometers. So in 2 hours, so you would have traveled another hour long, so you would have traveled another 350 kilometers. So you would have traveled a total distance of 350 plus 350, which is 700 kilometers. After the third hour, you would add another 350, that'll give you 1,050. For the fourth hour, you add another 350, that's already 1,400 kilometers. So after the fourth hour, plane A would have already passed airport B. So our solution is probably between 1 and 3 hours. Let's look at the distance that plane B travels. After 1 hour, it would have traveled 250 kilometers. After the second hour, another 250, bringing it to 500, another 250, and another 250. So, how do we read this table correctly? Well, every 1 hour, we are calculating the distance traveled from plane A to airport B, as so, and from plane B to airport A. So as they are traveling, there's going to be some time frame where they meet each other and they will pass each other. That is the time frame, that T, we are looking for. Well, if the total distance between the airports is 1,200 kilometers, then the moment that the planes pass each other is when the sum of their distances is equal to 1,200. So what do I mean by that? Well, if we create another column with the sum of the distances, 350 plus 250 kilometers. So in the first hour, that would have given us a total of 600 kilometers traveled between both planes. 700 and 500, that's 1,200, which most likely looks like our answer. But if we carry on, we'll see that's 1,800. That's already way past. And 2,400, which is also already way past. So it looks like at t equals 2 hours, the planes would have passed each other. Let's have a look at that figure. Right, so after 2 hours, the total distance that plane A would have traveled is 700 kilometers. And at the same time, in that same 2 hour time frame, plane B would have traveled 500 kilometers towards airport A. So they make up the total distance between the two airports, 1,200 kilometers. So therefore, after 2 hours, the planes will have passed each other. All right, I'll see you in the next one.